Fucked up how they kicked me out of the damn session I was in. And they threw him in a session, then took him out of the session. It's some straight up bullshit. Let's see, bro. Call, call.
Our operator is on call. Hold it, Cloud. What you want? Some wheels? It's on the way.
We gotta listen to CNN. How are they taking this whole Trump takeover? Let's hear the gaslighting over here.
DC is not the first time, I mean, it's not the first city as well, where the president has made crime his focal point. Remember, it's not even the first year he said it. He did it his first time when he was president before. He did it during the campaign in 2024, trying to be president again. He did it 2 months ago, actually. He deployed nearly 5,000 National Guard troops to LA. That was to end protests against immigration raids. Remember that?
And what happened, guys? What happened? We were watching these riots live on my channel. What happened? The day the National Guard came out, no more fires, no more looting, no more, well, there was looting in the middle of the night, right? But there was no more vandalizing, there was no more craziness going on. The moment the National Guard was out there, people got in line. And then when the Marines got there, they really didn't have a choice but to get in line. And shout out to Leslie Richards for gifting a membership, and it goes to Jay Bowman. Shout out to my dog, Jay Bowman.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
He thinks he just fell out of a coconut tree or something. Whatever the politician said. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to Leslie, always gifting the membership. But yeah, he put the National Guard out there. It locked the place down. They got control immediately, right? There was cars getting set on fires, vandalization going on throughout the whole city. The moment he put that in action, everything was halted. And it just de-escalated from there.
Well, that move, is still being challenged in court, and we haven't seen the end of that yet. But he gave a warning to leaders of other, which he knows, blue cities. Might be next.
We have other cities also that are bad, very bad. You look at Chicago, how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is. We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone.
I had to wonder when I was watching him earlier what each of the mayors of those cities were thinking when they were called out, whether it was accurate or not.
It
what
was.
the reaction might be. So I invited a mayor of one of the cities that Trump said might be on a deck. He joins me now. It's Mayor Brandon Scott of Baltimore, Maryland. Mayor, welcome. As I mentioned earlier, people have to.
Who is this? This is a mayor? Like, just got out of high school. What's happening? What's going on here? Who is this? Mayor of what?
Baltimore, Maryland. Mayor, welcome. As I mentioned earlier, people have to feel safe. And you can give them all the stats in the world. If they don't feel it, then they're not buying it. You, of course, know that in your district, in your city, it's different than Washington, D.C., right? Because the president is able to send in the National Guard and take over D.C.
What does this shirt say? Blackness today? Blackness. What is this?
Is for period about 30 days. But a military presence in Washington, D.C., is that the right way to fight crime here, given your experience in Baltimore?
No. And I think we all know that, right? And we all know what the president is doing is really just spitting this right-wing propaganda and using the media and the pulpit of the highest office of the land to push things that we know. No one in D.C., my sister Mayor, is not saying that they don't have issues to work on. But the reality is that D.C. violent crime is at a 13-year low. And
there it is again. Shout out to you, Jay Bowman, for the support. $10 for the amazing content. Thank you for the gifted membership, Leslie. Shout out to you, Leslie. This is the same typical Democrat talking point we hear all the time, right? I'm telling you, man, they have skewed the statistics recently since the past 3 years with these social workers they've been sending out to these crime zones just so they can sit here and say, oh, crime is at an all-time low, right? They're lying to you. They lie to you every sentence that comes out of their mouth.
quite frankly, that's the case for cities around the country. I think it's very notable that each and every one of the cities called out by the president has a black mayor. And most of those cities are seeing historic lows in violent crime. In my city,
they all have black mayors. I ain't gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you know what I'm saying. Oh, okay. Anyway,
Baltimore, we have the fewest amount of homicides through this date on record. That's 50 years, a 50-year low. Admit we are too far. Hold on.
34% down in auto thefts, 22% down in robberies, 15% down in carjackings, 10% down in arson. Baltimore? Listen, y'all need to just flood the chat with blue caps. Blue cap emojis to the hat. Just click on the emoji button, type cap, C-A-P, and you see that blue hat right there? Y'all just need to flood the chat with caps. That's me calling the cap on this. Source, Baltimore Police Department.
Maybe we are too far gone from the broken right-wing policies of zero-tolerance policing and all the things that did not make our city safer for many years. When we know that having the military there is not the way to do it. The way to drive down violence in cities has been proven. Mayors of across the country have brought together the law enforcement, the legal community, the actual community violence intervention work to reduce violence across this country and cities to lows that we have not seen in decades. The president could learn a lot from us instead of throwing things at us.
The president can learn a lot from us. Yeah, he can learn how to destroy the country. He can definitely learn that from you guys. And I don't know if this guy, Mayor Brandon Scott, yeah, we're good. We are good enough. We're good enough. Now, where'd it go? There we go. We gotta hear from someone else. A very prominent figure in the Democratic world who happens to be claiming that Donald Trump is race baiting.
The clock is ticking on Donald Trump's 30-day federal takeover of the D.C. police, and Democrats are on fire about it, calling the move everything from authoritarian overreach by a lawless president to an unnecessary stunt to a raw authoritarian power grab. Eleanor Holmes Norton, who represents D.C. as a delegate in Congress.
Is that Karen Bass? Karen Bass is one sister or something?
And Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen are now reintroducing legislation to grant D.C. full control over its National Guard and the Metro Police Department. Now, they won't get it because it's a majority Republican Congress, but their messaging is clear. Donald Trump is out of control. And if you look at the 5 cities he called out directly at his press conference yesterday, all are majority cities.
They're all liberal hellholes is what they are.
And then just last hour, here's the mayor of Baltimore on this program.
Every single city that rolled out yesterday has a black mayor. If anybody thinks that's a coincidence, you're wrong. We know.
Now, I'm just gonna say it. Maybe there's correlation there. Maybe there's correlation with having black mayors and having.
That's why they shit
But
old.
that can't be true. It depends on your principle, right? Because I mean, if we get a Byron Donalds to be governor of Florida, I guarantee you he's not gonna have the same problem.
Thank you.
So it's just the progressive ideologies, man. Progressive
Common sense,
ideologies
no
do
fucking
nothing
sense.
but destroy. That's just simply put as it can be.
Common sense,
They look
no
and see
fucking
black mayors around the country are actually winning on the issue that they want to talk about. Oh, how high violence is in these black-led cities. But when you look, we're having the success of historic lows. Are the black people?
Well, we could text all this out. All we gotta do is replace these progressive black mayors with
and see with
Republican black mayors and see how much better everything gets. Then we know for sure this whole race baiting nonsense is just a flat out lie.
Leadership, black mayor leadership across the country, and that should be something that should be uplifted. We should be helping those mayors expand that success, not trying to
What
degrade
success?
them simply because.
What success, asshole? What success?
Now it's Robert L. Sharpton, National Action President, as host
L.
of
Sharpton.
MSNBC's Politics Nation. Michael Hardaway is former communications director and spokesman for
L.
Congressman Gene
Sharpton.
Jeffries. So, Michael, the method you're hearing, the Democrats are not going to take this sitting down.
Yeah, they're gonna take this running away. That's what they seem to be doing best.
What Frederick Douglass said, and that's what Democrats are doing. They refuse to allow this to happen. The reality is that if Democrats lie down with Republicans still be seats in Texas, that is only the first step in many. They will do that in other states, and that is their way to try to hold a majority in the House, which is only centered on Donald Trump avoiding accountability for his litany of illegal acts during his presidency. So Democrats have to fight here. They're doing the right thing.
What leader that?
David Jeffries and Mr. Cuba are doing the right thing by leading that fight, and they should continue that.
Yeah. Look, we have been listening for the past couple weeks, or I guess the past week or so. We've been giving Democrats a chance to say something logically. You know, I've been listening to a lot of Democrats recently. They all say the exact same thing. It's the exact same script over and over and over again. None of them have a single original thought in their minds, right? I've been letting them speak on this platform, on my platform, a lot more than I've been letting Republicans speak, right? They are all just terrible. They're just terrible people in general. But they all got the same script, the same book of lies to pull from. It's over and over and over again. It doesn't matter which Democrat head or person you put on the screen, they all say the exact same thing. It's insane.
So, Ralph, one man in Washington, D.C. told our colleagues that he does not feel safe calling it home anymore, especially after President Trump's announcement. Take a listen.
Is that so like I'm like listen, I was gonna say, is it the sensitive black man? I took 2 seconds looking at this video.
Wait for President Trump's announcement. Take a listen.
It just feels like a microscope is down on like black people, and when you listen to the press conference on my radio, every city that you named, Chicago, Oakland, Baltimore, by the way,
Y'all are so predictable. How did I know it was gonna be a zesty black dude coming up here? I just knew that's what they were gonna throw on the screen.
Baltimore's crime is down 50%. All of them are black cities, so it just feels not only like a target on DC's back, but also mine as a black man in DC. It's just, it doesn't feel like home anymore. I just like to my mom, my girlfriend, like, I think it may be time to like move out of DC because for one, I'm not wanted, and two, it's not safe, and it's like speechless because this isn't home anymore. It doesn't feel like home anymore.
Donald Trump, Rev, says he's actually making Washington, D.C. safer. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Well, first of all, Donald Trump was sat in the White House several hours during January 6th while his followers were beating police officers.
Man, you better stop talking about January 6th, boy.
And that was,
You don't want us to get no motherfucking investigation done with dealing with January the 6th.
And when he finally did, it was almost at the end of the day. And add insult to injury, when he got back in office, he was he'd been convicted of felony acts on January 6th.
So I am 100,000% with Donald Trump on pardoning those people. Look, real quick, I have this put up on YouTube. Chief Stephen's son, he was the police chief of the Capitol that day, January 6th, right? Donald Trump had asked he told them, like, look, get the National Guard ready. We're going to need them on January 3rd, okay? He asked them, get it ready on January 3rd. And so Chief Stephen's son was the one who has the authority to ask the National Guard to come out. But Nancy Pelosi's D.C. Guard, her sergeant at arms, was denying it. And the point of him denying it was saying that the same thing that they don't like about Donald Trump getting the National Guard to go out to stop protests because of the optics. They would not allow the National Guard to go to the Capitol that day because it would look bad. It would look like we're weaponizing the military against U.S. citizens. That's why they did not allow the National Guard to go out on January 6th. But yet, here we got Al Sharpton saying, Trump just sat on his ass and didn't do nothing. Yeah, okay. We all know what the game was. We know January 6th was an absolute setup. We got FBI agents and assets in the crowd instigating things, pushing forward. We know what it was, man. We saw the police let everyone in the Capitol. Yeah, y'all go walk around. Y'all go peacefully walk around. Listen. They arrested 600 people.
Yep.
And locked them up for
4 years.
Officers.
4 years.
They were trying to lock them up for life, right?
They was locked up for 4 years.
Around 15 to maybe 30 people that actually physically touched or pushed a police officer. Because of that, because they have around 30 people on camera shoving the police officers, they said every single person that day, whether they touched a police officer, whether they went to the Capitol, everyone that was associated with that day is going to jail for life. That is what they did. The January 6th committee was a Democratic committee. They had Liz Cheney in there. It was an absolute miscarriage of justice. Donald Trump was completely in the right to release those political prisoners. That's what they were. They were political prisoners. They said, we're going to lock up every Trump supporter, everyone that we could get, and we're going to lock them all up right here and now. And that's what they did. They made an example out of those people who stood up against the Democrats. And we all know Joe Biden, he only won because they rigged that election, okay? We know. Donald Trump got 77 million votes, or around 77 million votes, in 2020. The only reason Biden won is because 10 million votes fell from the sky into Joe Biden's lap. That's it. That's the only reason why Joe Biden became the president in 2020.
Bullshit.
10 million votes, more than the previous 6 elections and even the 2024 election? No, man. It was completely rigged, but we did it. We took our L. We endured. The people that were sitting in prison due to that day, January 6th, they took their punishment, and we are here now. This is a whole new country now. We are not letting the Democrats do that again. The whole J6 committee needs to be locked up. Liz Cheney, she needs to be locked up. All of them that were sitting in that committee that day, they need to be locked up. It was a
every last one out.
To lock up Trump supporters. That's it.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Nancy Pelosi, her, whatever, they all need to be locked up.
All of them.
All of them need to be locked up.
Because he went and killed.
What's he got to say?
But now all of a sudden he wants to bring order to Washington. So you've got to deal with his record. His record is that if people are violent and disobey the law and assault law enforcement and are supportive of him, that's fine. But on some others that he claims are out of control, because the data says that crime and violent crime is going down in Washington, he's going to set out the next.
And we found out that y'all lied about that.
He set out January 6.
We find out y'all lied about that.
Because Nancy Pelosi denying it. See, man,
Fuck, we find out y'all lying too fucking much. That's the reason why we fucking $37 trillion in debt. Cause all this fucking lying and stealing and shit.
So it's like child trying to dismantle their lives. Now we got Brandon Johnson. Yeah, we're gonna let another Democrat speak up. We got Brandon Johnson upset that Donald Trump said he was gonna send him into his place, man.
Hey, when you sought candidates to fill the 35th ward vacancy, you listed relevant government experience as a qualification. That is listed in the outline for your 27th ward committee. Why did you remove it, and is that an effort to clear the way for Alderman Burnett's son, Red?
Well, so it's my responsibility to make sure that the committee is formed. The committee establishes its expectations for the particular ward that has the vacancy, right? So, for instance, you may have also noticed that the 35th Ward Committee made Spanish speaking as a requirement. You don't see that in the 27th Ward's committee, right? And I'm going to
He is so bad with his hands. He tries to do like the Obama thing, the Hakeem Jeffries thing, the Gavin Newsom thing, using their hands to kind of speak. He is so bad with his hands, man.
a short conclusion here. It has more to do with the fact that the makeup of the particular ward, right? So again, the committee will establish criteria based upon the
Is
needs.
he giving a titty twister? What the hell is he doing? Like he's trying. They said, all right, look, when you go out there and you talk, you remember you got to use your hands to kind of get the flow going, right? So he's out here just like, what are you doing, bro? Are you juggling the balls? What are you doing?
So that those communities that are reflected in those particular wards, I don't micromanage to that extent where I put forth a requirement because the city of Chicago is far more diverse and you need more of an eloquent process, and that's essentially what's coming out.
Hey, what's up?
So that was a big word salad.
Sure thing. Limo en route.
Now he's going to ask him about Donald Trump saying about sending the National Guard to Chicago.
That you talked earlier about how you don't believe that Donald Trump has the right to send National Guard here. But what are the differences if the president moves ahead on such plans to try to have police force of some kind in Chicago?
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but to me, he looks like he's about to have a panic attack every time he gets up on the stage. Has he had a panic attack in the past? I think he did one time, and he had to go to the hospital, but I could be wrong about that. I think that happened, I don't know. But when I watch him, he looks like he's ready to pass out.
From the national government. How are you, is it just court action? What are you planning to do if that happens?
Well, look, the governor and I, we're on the same page here, right? And so, legal action will be on the table. But I want to make something perfectly clear. These individuals are not being sent to cities to police cities because they're not trained to police. These are soldiers. Soldiers don't go through the training that our police officers go through. In fact, it is quite.
Sir, do you know what the training is that the police officers go through? Do you know what the training is that the National Guard goes through? Do you even know? Or are you just spitting nonsense?
Hypocritical on the part of the president to even suggest such a move, and it is destabilizing for the city of Washington, D.C. Why? Look, crime is down in Chicago. Crime is down. There is more work for us to do. But, he wasn't adamant about ensuring that the $830 million
is down like what, 0.2%? 0.0111%, maybe?
of funding that he took away from community violence prevention and intervention. These are individuals that are on the front line in these particular communities, preventing crime, preventing retaliation from taking place, building relationships. I know these individuals. I sit with them, we spend time with them. Deputy Mayor Gabriel
I mean, we're on constant call with these individuals that are literally on the front line to keep our community safe. And, this president's approach is like, I wish it were just a joke. He's one. But it's antithetical to what we're actually working to accomplish here. And you're seeing the results all over the country. Brandon Scott, Randall Woodfin, Mayor Bowser, Mayor Johnson in Milwaukee. 30% reduction in homicides just this year alone in the city of Chicago. 40% reduction in shootings and shooting victims. Like, these are individuals who are on the front line. The money that he took to give to the ultra rich that are
Gotta throw the billionaire buddies in there.
preventing violence from taking place. He's exacerbating the problem here. And again, like running amok around this country, straining our Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
He's dangerous.
Constitutional crisis.
We have seen this before. And inch by inch, he continues to see what he will get away with. I appreciate the question, I really do. Because I'm going to stand firm in my defense of our city.
That's right.
And we need more people raising their voices against someone who is trampling over the very Constitution that we helped form and build and reform.
That's right.
Like, I know my history. We don't get to Chicago just because we were just walking around aimlessly.
That's right.
We're talking about my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was a sharecropper. That's 30 generation removed from slavery. We built this country. We fought for a country that didn't see us as a full human being.
That's right.
This man is beyond like the tyranny that we see around the world. Because the tyranny that we're seeing around the world, in many instances, their constitution permits it.
Right.
Our Constitution was built and designed to provide checks and balance.
Amen.
There are certainly no checks to this president right now, except for the cities that are fighting to hold our humanity and our democracy. And there's certainly no balance to him. I have never seen a president more off than Donald Trump. Just off the rockers. So, this is not just about Mayor Brandon Johnson this moment. This is about one nation. That he is working overtime to
shut the fuck. Get this shit off my
Yep,
screen. What the hell is he talking about? Where did he go?
Thank you for coming to your comments. And then you got that shit off the screen. Thank you.
I'm so tired.
Thank you. I'm tired too, bro.
Donald Trump.
Stop that, bro. I'm tired too. Some people put 15 over, cut it off. Motherfucker, we don't go back to some fucking common sense. We don't even start using fucking common sense. But this shit makes no sense. For us to be going along and get along with a whole bunch of shit that just don't make no fucking sense. It don't make no sense for us to even be doing this dumb ass shit. But we are. We're actually doing it.